Hi, everyone. I'm Manouk Akopyan, and I am pleased to be joined by UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley, who's headlining UFC 299 in a rematch fight against Marlon Vera. Sean, welcome, and thank you for joining.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. And, a lot has changed since that last fight with Marlon 4 years ago. Most significantly, you're now the king at 135 pounds in the UFC. For the viewers who don't see it, it's kind of right over your shoulder there, that championship belt right there, that glistening gold. How has your life changed since you beat Aljamain Sterling back in August to become a UFC title holder?
Yeah, nothing's really changed. I feel like I kind of was always a star. I kind of, I'd been making money. I think a lot of people that had, that become champion, they start making money for the first time. They start, getting recognized for the first time. I had all that before I was champ, so not a lot's changed. Made a lot more money, got a lot more popular, but not a whole lot's changed.
Mm-hmm. How a lot of times when fighters become champions, the hunger either multiplies or they kind of have to figure out ways to keep themselves hungry when they reach that Mount Everest, as they say. How has the drive changed for training camp for this one against Vera, considering you're trying to avenge a loss that was an incomplete performance considering the injury 4 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, my main goal wasn't just to become champ. My goal is to, be the biggest star that I can possibly be. And I still had a lot of years left to do that. So I'm not really maxed out on motivation. It didn't really peak out just because I became champ. Definitely just as hungry, if not more. Especially, you know, going against Chito. I want this fight. I'm excited for this fight, and we're like 9 days away. It's crazy to even say that. I'm still in Arizona right now, but in a blink of an eye, I'm going to be on a plane to Miami. And but yeah, very excited.
Yeah, definitely. As the fight inches closer, obviously the mindset changes, the mentality changes. And in your first fight, you were having some success there with Marlon, and then things just changed. We've documented the injury to this point, but this time around, what can you promise as far as a performance goes? What is that guarantee you want to make going into this fight?
I mean, I learned firsthand that anything could happen in a fight. So it's, I can't sit here and promise anything. I'm going to go out there. I promise I put in as much effort and as much work as I possibly could going into this fight. Um, that's all you can really promise. Yeah, I can assure you that I plan on having the most beautiful performance I've ever had against Cheeto March 9th in Miami. But yeah, I mean, I learned firsthand anything can happen in a fight. It's the fight game.
Mm-hmm. And seemingly every champion nowadays tries to go for that double champ status. You've talked about moving up eventually. Ilya Taporia, the new champion at 145 pounds, is a move to 145 pounds also coming up for you too?
Cheeto's next. It's literally that's all on my mind. Nothing else matters. I don't beat Cheeto, nothing else happens. So Cheeto's the main focus.
Mm-hmm. And definitely that's always the case. But everyone's now talking about Marab in the division, and after he came up against Cejudo. Do you believe Marab is as dangerous as everyone makes him out to be?
Yeah, Marab's a very dangerous opponent. He's got a good gas tank. He's got a good chin. He's been rocked a few times, but it always kind of seems to wake him up and get him going. So yeah, I think he's very dangerous. I think he's on a 10 fight win streak. Very dangerous guy.
Mm-hmm. So I know probably moving up a division and going for double champ status might be a little too much to think about, but if you get by Vera, is Marab next for you? Is that the conversations that are kind of guaranteed at this point?
Nothing's guaranteed. I haven't talked to anybody about anything specific like that. I mean, UFC's not stupid. They're not gonna, make a fight. What else? We already have. I have to fight Cheeto. They're pointless to make any fights after that. I got to go out there and fight Cheeto. That's just what's next.
Mm-hmm. How do you see Chito evolved and developed since you last fought him 4 years ago?
Um, he's got some big wins on it. Knocked out Frankie Edgar, knocked out Dominic Cruz, lost a close fight to Jose Aldo. He's got a lot of experience. A lot of 5 round fights. Good fight against Rob Font. Just he's got a lot of experience. He's a tough, durable dude.
And how would you assess your performance against Sterling? I mean, it was a star in the making performance, but looking back at it now, you've had some time to think about it. How would you assess that performance?
Yeah, I mean, I executed pretty much perfectly. I did what I needed to do, not let him grab a hold of me, frustrate him, have him overcommit, and take his lights out. It was damn near perfect performance.
hmm you're also promising to take the lights out of the sport on the other side of the street, boxing. You've been involved in some back and forth beef with Ryan Garcia in recent days. You've called out Gervonta Davis also recently. Why do you believe you can do something perhaps the likes of your brethren Conor McGregor couldn't in a boxing ring? Why are you that guy to buck the trend?
Yeah, I don't know if that'll ever happen. Obviously, I kind of planted the seed a while back, saying, hey, if they continue to grow, I continue to do what I do in this sport, we could have a big fight someday. That's what I'm in this business for pure entertainment and money. So a big boxing crossover. If that's what the fans want to see, if the fans aren't about it, then it doesn't sell. So it's really what the fans want. So I like to have a lot of options for the people, and I like to have a lot of options for myself to move forward.
Obviously, the today's generation is used to these crossover matches. They call for it. Uh, Something perhaps the old guard wasn't embracing too much. Is that something that you've also had a chance to talk to the UFC with Dana White? Is like Dana White on board for you to make this crossover into boxing as well too?
They don't love it, but they do say if it generates revenue, if it makes a lot of money, they're not going to say no. But I think for that to actually make a lot of money, guys like Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis have to continue to build themselves as superstars, as do I. I'm not, in a position right now. Could we do a crossover fight and be big? Yeah, but we don't want it to be big. We want it to be huge. So, we both sides got a lot of work to do.
Do you think Ryan can hold up to his end of the stick and keep winning? He's
No.
been very uneven ever since that Gervonta loss. Even this week with the press conference build up of the fight just yesterday, he was up to semantics. Well, what do you make of all that? And do you see him as a serious fighter?
Yeah, I mean, he's a young kid. I think he's 25 years old, made a lot of money, making a lot of money, becoming very popular, famous at a young age is dangerous. I gradually kind of became more popular since I was 22, 23, 24, kind of grew up in the spotlight. And, thankfully I didn't make that much money. If I would have made as much money as I'm making now, when I was 23, 24, 25, it's hard to say how you turn out. It's just, money, fame goes to your head. Seems like he's kind of doesn't have good people around him. And you need good people around you. You need to, stay focused to be able to continue to rise. Not that he can't do it. Maybe he's going through a little phase, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. You obviously have your team around you, training out in Arizona, like we mentioned, few days away from headlining UFC 299. You've been through this course and you've been through these big events already. It's just another rodeo, as they say. How is this one different now as a champion going in?
UFC 299 live on pay-per-view. That's how it's different. I'm getting the pay-per-view points. Very excited about that. That's been something I've been vocal about since before I was even in the UFC. Came into the UFC saying, I want to be a pay-per-view star someday. I want a main event, defend the belt, get pay-per-view. Here we are. So it's really cool. I feel like I'm in a really cool position right now. It's like a dream come true. So it's exciting. I think and it's hard to do big pay per view numbers just because it's so easy to stream fights. So, I'm thinking it'll be cool to be able to do a big pay per view. I do think um, a lot of these dorks that stream the fights will, they'll buy the pay per view. I want big pay per view numbers, and it's exciting. So I'm excited to see how it does.
Is it safe to say you're the new UFC cash cow?
I mean, we'll see after this fight. I am headlining UFC Miami. They always go big in Miami. Um, so, I think they put me in this position for a reason.